We're good.
I don't know. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're live. I think we're almost live, sort of live. Just double checking.
We're live.
We are live.
20 seconds before I'll be able to see it on the Facebook, but I believe we are live. But I think that us talking about whether or not we are live or not is going to be real fun for people to watch.
I think it's going to be the highlight of the show. Rob, it's our second show ever for co-host to co-host with Creany and the Gipper. I am the Gipper. You are?
I would consider myself Creany, for sure.
I would say, for sure. You're a little Creany, a little dreamy. So that we have three fantastic guests today.
Yeah.
Some planned, some unplanned, in this absurd talk show that we do once a week for a suggested donation of $5,000 or $5 at Gipper 2020 is on Venmo.
If you can afford the 5,000, please.
Yeah, by all means. If you only got $5, that's fine. If you literally have no money, we don't care. Just watch and tell people about us. Okay. We have faith
forward. So if you watch our show for free, that's great. But in the future, we may ask a favor. And that time may never come, but when it does, don't be a dick about it.
Did you, that was a little bit of a Godfather reference. Me and you have some favorite movies together. We're best buds. I told you that I'm a little bit Jewish, that I just found out.
Yeah.
Did I bring that up? We didn't bring that up last show, but just as a quick recap, my family on my mother's side, turns out we're from Sicily, and they were known unaffectionately as the Jews of Sicily. I didn't know I was Jewish, and apparently the mafia didn't like us so much because we weren't Catholic, so they killed our horse farm. They killed all of our horses. So, I mean, they ran out of beds with the heads. So that was kind of bizarre, but holds true to the movie.
Yeah. And also, if you know anything about the Peterson family, you know that when you kill their horses, you're not just killing their livelihood, you're killing their lovers. And
there you go.
That's the saddest part.
The saddest part is seeing you freeze so much. I think it's maybe when you don't pay your bill on time. Is that why? Is that why? That stutter step happens?
Yeah. Well, if you're paying your bill, but you're not paying it right on time, they'll just cut your rent off for seconds at a time throughout the day.
Yeah, and I think it's been over 70 days inside on the West Coast for us. How many days have you been inside, my friend?
60 maybe. I think it started a little bit later. I mean, I went to the West Coast right at the beginning of this pandemic, which is a
smart move.
We went camping in we were gonna rent a tent to go camping in Joshua Tree, but tent rentals were not happening, so we just rented a car, and we just slept in a car in Joshua Tree. And in the middle of the night, Heather would wake up from horrible nightmares, and I would have to comfort her back to sleep. But really all I wanted to say was, it's okay, we're sleeping in a car during a pandemic. What could our nightmares have been that were worse than our reality?
These uncertain times, how does Rob Crean and Gary Peterson cope, as it were? And I think one thing that really cheered me up, and I had a lot of fun doing, was writing your eulogy.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, obviously, everything's very uncertain now. Any of us could die at basically any moment. And so, it's good to have those eulogies ready for anyone that's close to you, because, you never know when it's going to happen. It could be quick. So I've also written your eulogy.
And I think we're going to let the crowd decide who did it better. You won the coin toss, so you will lead off. We will go line for line in this segment we like to call Duology.
Gary Peterson died while heroically trying to rescue children from a burning building when somehow his pants and underpants fell down and his belt got wrapped around his neck.
Wow. That's very good. We're gathered here today to celebrate Rob Crean's enormous 69 years on this planet. This Rob Crean had a life who stood for many different things. He sat for most of it. But what he's remembered for is being a father, a husband, a brother, and most importantly, booing at Kobe Bryant's funeral.
He shouldn't have been up there, you know? I mean, look, flight conditions were unstable that day. It was hubris that killed Kobe Bryant. No,
Service to you.
Yeah. When you hear the term comedic geniuses, many names come to mind. George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers.
Robert Gyllenhaal Crean was born in 1903 among a litter of sand crabs. One story I'll always remember is we were together on the road and I was doing better than him.
Gary will be remembered for his work with those afflicted with sexual compulsive disorder, or opening for Louis C.K. That is.
That's good. Dying at age 69, attempting a 69 with a 96-year-old, Rob did what he loved. His jobs included tour guide, warehouse worker, wedding officiant, and he took these jobs as a way of saying, hey, money, get out of here. I don't know you.
Everyone was surprised to hear Gary died so young. Not that he died, that is, just that he was so young. He just looked tremendously old his whole life.
It's a condition. Rob was such a deer. He would run straight on into traffic headlights. He is the lone survivor of Anderson Comedy, a comedy group named for no one in it. That's great branding.
Gary died before achieving his ultimate goal, revenge on Superman for the lab accident that cost him his hair.
At Rob's request, his ashes will be scattered in his three favorite places: Walden Pond, the Freedom Trail, and the CVS adult diaper aisle.
I'll tell you, CVS does not like it when you do that. They don't like you spreading ashes. Technically, you're not allowed to do it anywhere, but they really get mad at CVS. Yes, it is sad that Gary is dead, but take solace in the fact that his death means he will never have to go through the prosecution of his many perverse crimes.
Rob lived many years in isolation, or as he called it, hosting comedy shows. Rob died under mysterious circumstances, and we still don't have answers. As the autopsy reports came back, it's still frustrating to see no definitive cause of death. All I know is that he shouldn't have crossed me.
Remember Gary for how he attempted to make us laugh, not for his alleged treason and to his country and allegations that he engaged in pyro autoerotic asphyxiation.
Pyro means I set fires, then choke myself while masturbating.
Exactly.
Oh, that's It's talent.
That's how you got it.
Rob is the parent to 2 beautiful girls and 5 very ugly Chinese boys. And he's always been charitable, even as a loving father, raising over $25,000 for theaters, out-of-work artists, and Al-Qaeda.
Out of work artists and Al Qaeda, or out of work artists in Al Qaeda?
It was both. It was the Rob Creany Foundation. You know what you did.
In a way, there's a little bit of Gary Peterson in each and every one of us, likely moving its way through our large intestines.
Rob's a vegan, which means he had a very compromised immune system, and it would have been very easy for anyone to poison him with something as harmful as a French fry made with real grease.
Real grease is a great term. You sound like someone that like loves the movie Grease but hates the movie Grease 2. Grease 2, no, I like real Grease. Yes, Gary is dead, but some believe on a quiet evening, if you listen carefully, you can still hear him out in the night masturbating. Flop, flop, flop.
Nicole is here as Rob's 21-year-old wife. I will remind you that he was near 70, and it's coming up on their 16th wedding anniversary. You'll have to excuse her. Nicole, go ahead. Nicole, are you here?
I'm here, Gary.
This is Nicole.
Gary, I drew a picture of the bad man.
You guys will have to excuse Nicole. She stopped developing mentally at the age Rob captured her. You did great, Nicole.
Thank you, Gary. Is the bad man gonna come back?
No, he's not going to hurt you anymore. The bad man is going to be put to rest finally in the adult diaper aisle where he belongs.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Gary. I feel safer now. I bet this was the bad man's. He called it his penis.
Go ahead and show that for the folks at home.
There, the bad man's penis.
You know, like a butthole on the front?
He's not gonna hurt you anymore.
Okay. Thanks, Uncle Gary.
Nicole Creany, we pray for you in these uncertain times, and I will always be there for you. May God forgive his transgressions.
Who seems more creepy during that segment, me or Uncle Gary?
And that's the eulogy.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more.
Oh, good.
And please, if anyone knows of any cemeteries with no regulations, we still have not found one that will accept Gary's putrid remains. And that's the duology.
Eulogies. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, Robbie boy.
That was great. That was great fun, old Gary.
Old
Great
boy.
fun, old Gary boy.
Old sport.
Mhm.
Special thanks to your future wife, Nicole. She's going to be born in 30 years. Our first guest is an artist who we've both known for a long time. I've seen a lot of her work. She's hilarious.
Yes.
Please welcome to the stream, Liz Prince, ladies and gentlemen. There you are. There she is. Nice frames.
Thanks. Yeah. $6 on ZennyOptical.com, who I assume is sponsoring this.
Oh, we've got a lot of sponsors.
Yeah.
Rob, go over the sponsor list real quick. Just
Great.
real quick. Gillette Stadium, TD
We're
Bank,
spon-
North Garden.
We're sponsored by Heinz Ketchup. If you're not allowed to wear white, you might be a ketchup kid. Heinz Ketchup. We're sponsored by Gillette Stadium. The best a stadium can get. Gillette Stadium.
And we're sponsored by the new Confederate flag. Not like your granddaddy's Confederate flag. It's the new Confederate flag.
Hey, the Confederate flag's not so bad if you consider how gay it looks. That's pretty cool.
Look, we didn't write these lists. We just have to read them.
I know how sponsorship works. Okay, got it.
How
I
are you?
once got told to tone down the pants bulge on a drawing of Flo from Progressive. So,
For the pants bulge?
oh yeah.
Is that her butt or?
No,
Telling
it's
her
like just the way I draw the crotch of jeans, but
Yeah.
the art directors at Progressive Insurance thought it looked like Flo was packing heat. So
Why did you call her Flo? Am I right?
Easy.
Guys later.
Rob walked himself with that joke. That was how bad it was. Have you gotten a lot of notes? Because you've drawn for yourself, LizPrince.com, right?
yeah, LizPrinceComics.com.
And then you've done corporate work, obviously, paying the bills, making that money.
Yeah.
What aside from make Flo's crotch less visible, have you gotten any crazy notes over the years?
I mean, that's definitely the craziest, especially because I'm pretty sure the like subject line of the email was like pants bulge, and then like it started with the like person who was my contact at Progressive being like, I'm sorry I even have to say this because it's really weird, but the worst notes I usually get are from myself.
Really?
Yeah, what kind of notes do you give yourself?
Stop drawing, go to bed, play more Animal Crossing. It's more important than drawing.
Yeah. I get
Wait.
those notes.
I think that's I'm not speaking out of turn where I say like every artist has that imposter drive. I think we're all kind of like, oh, we suck. And
for sure.
Rob more than others, but
It's weird. I actually don't have that much. It's weirdly like they say that every artist is their own worst critic, but I'm a fan. I like
Isn't it kind of interesting that like the least talented people are the ones who have the least self-criticism?
It's so true. I really, when I listen to like my own stand-up, I'm like, I say a lot, but you know what? I get that certain something.
You know what? You're not wrong, Rob. You're not wrong. I was actually thinking about your brilliant joke about how cats do the worst impressions of people.
Oh, thanks.
Uh-oh.
Because
looks like we
my
got a joke
cat-
challenge.
Yeah.
No, because my cats are constantly meowing all the time, and now anytime they do that, I'm like, that's not what I sound like. But
Rob,
is it?
Do the joke, Rob. Do it.
The joke
Ladies,
is
wait, let me intro you. I'm like it's a real comedy show. Ladies and gentlemen, please be patient while this next comedian speaks.
The joke is, I found out recently that when cats do not meow in the wild, when you hear a cat meowing, that's the cat's impression of what they think people sound like, and that impression sucks. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But I will say, I actually used to live with a cat, Mr. President, first female president, and did talk. And she only say one word, but she said it a lot. And the word was hello. So you'd come in late at night, you'd open the door, and my apartment is like a long hallway, and you'd hear at the other end of the hallway, you just hear hello. It was very creepy.
I like that you lived with the first female president, because I live with the first female wolf man.
Can you elaborate on that?
My cat's name is Wolfman, and
Okay.
she's a wolf and a man.
I don't know why that
Also,
tickled
I didn't
me.
realize, I learned shortly after I adopted her that all calico cats are female. It's a genetic trait on the X chromosome. And so the first time that I took her to the vet opened the door to the room that we were in and goes, "Oh, Wolfman's a girl." And I was like, how? You could just tell just by looking at the cat, their biological sex. And let's not even get into her gender identity, because
Yeah,
I think I fucked her up real good.
I don't know. I think I blame that binary thinking vet. I mean, come on.
I know.
Expect a vet in Massachusetts to be more progressive.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
not pants bulge progressive, but
Not slow progressive.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
saving you tons of money on your insurance.
Yeah.
This is a delight. I haven't seen you, I think, in maybe 10 years.
That
10-ish.
sounds about right.
Last time
But
I
I've
saw
seen
you.
you.
You've
I've
seen me.
seen you.
I've been around.
I've seen you.
The last thing you said to me was, "Don't fucking talk to me." And then 10 years go by, and I figure it's time to bury the hatchet.
And you're talking to me. What did I say?
Bad boy of comedy's back. Look out! You've always been a hearty talent, underrated and underappreciated, limousine riding, first class flying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got some of these sweet little drawings for us that we can show the people your great work that we're a big fan.
I do. I've been doing this series called Quarantine Comics. I am primarily an autobiographical cartoonist. So I'm just going to do a dramatic reading of these. Is this what you guys were thinking? Like,
We'd love, yeah. Would you like us to voice any, or you want to do them all yourself?
I mean, I'll be me and you can be anyone else, if there's anyone else in the comic.
So how about for this first one? How about I'll do the narration, and Gary, you be the guy with the beard.
Okay.
That's my husband. You get to be my husband, Gary. That's
Great.
my husband.
Fine.
All right, great. Yeah, boy, people are just gonna be like, that show that those two weird guys do. They just make women pretend to be married to them.
You know what? It works
it's like it's The Bachelor, basically. But we don't get a choice.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Quarantine Comics Day 1 by Liz Prince, 2020. We went to BJ's because all shopping there is like apocalypse shopping.
Do you need a giant tub of mayo?
You make that joke every time we come here.
I was unsuccessful at getting the things my friends had requested.
Sorry, folks. All the totally reasonable stuff you wanted was sold out. Too bad they didn't ask for 10-gallon tubs of mayo.
I ate out of a family-sized box of Cheerios while watching TV on the couch.
I wish I could claim this is quarantine behavior, but it's honestly just a normal Monday for me.
Like, what's the box say?
Easily feeds 10 people, but you'll eat almost all of it in one sitting.
Oh, lovely. This is great.
Thanks.
I like the lines. Let's do another.
Thank you.
Quarantine Comics, Day 2. I found a Cheerio in my bed. Actually, you can just read all this one since you're the only character.
Cool. I found a Cheerio in my bed. I assume it fell out of my hoodie after last night's Cheerio binge session. I mean, I hope that's what happened as I eat it out of the bed.
Now,
hittable.
Can I ask a question about this specific? I don't want to know if things are real, like this verbatim happened or not. I always think that's a shitty question to ask any artist, and I won't answer it. But is this real? Did this happen?
Yeah, I really did eat a Cheerio out of the bed. And then the second I did it, I was like, what the fuck was that about? Like,
I think that like that's very relatable. I think the same thing has happened to me or Gary, except for with me it would be popcorn, with Gary it would be deviled eggs.
That's true. They get
Man,
warm under my
I would
pillow.
love to find a deviled egg in my bed.
And
Because it
just
means
call.
the devil's been there.
Yep.
You need a deviled egg in your bed. Just call your husband. Whoa! Look out! It's
Whoa.
War Comics Liz Prince.
We do not sleep in the same bed, as you can see by this comic.
Really?
I mean, not intentionally, but because he likes to fall asleep in front of the TV on the couch, and I am like a grandma and go upstairs and read the New Yorker like any good, middle-class white lady in her mid to late 30s. So he lives like he's in high school still, and I'm just not. So anyway, I changed the sheets and made the bed super cozy. Not that it did anything to end my crippling insomnia. Not all of these are jokes, guys. No, that one's not funny.
They don't have to be funny, obviously. They're but it's also I think it's kind of funny.
Thank you.
Your suffering. Your suffering is our suffering. I think I've been having trouble sleeping. I don't know about you guys. It's been a battle to turn my brain off at night. But I like to watch the movie Outbreak every night before bed. Say again, Rob?
Sorry, I think I had some digital error and then I interrupted Liz because I came in. I would.
It's over.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Rob likes to watch hardcore pornography on his phone at all times, so it does slow down his speed. So you're going to have to forgive us.
What do you consider hardcore, Gary?
The dark web stuff you've been watching. All right. Here we go. Day 10.
Another morning of cat puke on my desk. This time they barfed directly onto my planner. What an apt metaphor. Thanks for writing today's comic, you little fuckers. With pleasure. Thanks, Wolfman. And her brother Dracula, who never speaks.
That's so funny. That really is like just I'm still at the point. I'm sure it'll end eventually, but I'm still at the point where I'll look at my planner to like put in like a Zoom meeting or like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with comics and because we haven't talked to anyone in person today at 1:30, and then it's like I have like stuff scheduled from before the world fell apart, and I'm like, oh man,
that would have been fun.
That would have been so cool.
This one has not. It's just purely art.
I was that last week.
Really? Wow.
100%.
I guess I peaked early in the quarantine then.
I think I got over it, but I think I don't know. Is that normal to just feel like it's all? You panic a little. I think panic is normal.
I mean, God willing, right?
If it's not normal, then we're all in trouble, I think, because I feel like everyone's panicking. I know I am.
Turn Rob's hair gray.
This morning it was warm and sunny, so we let the toads hop around on the lawn. Yeah, I have 2 pet toads. Escape? Nope. Sorry. Pebble used the opportunity to blast a duke in the grass. Why are they sitting like that? Oh my God, Pebble's gonna poop. Nature is so awesome. And then I drew how toads poop, propped up with their legs splayed, and then they push their legs into the side to squeeze the poop out.
Oh my God. Did this feel like your movie for the day? Like, did it feel like your entertainment?
Yeah. And Pebble is pretty good about just like taking a shit kind of like with an audience. I FaceTimed with my goddaughter the other day because I had Pebble out in the yard again and she always wants to see the toads, but it's not very much fun for me to like show them to her just sitting in my tank because they don't do anything. They just sit there. And then Pebble took another huge shit. So you know what? They've got something. They've got talent, I think.
Yeah. That's what it feels like when I have the chance to bring one of my friends to see one of Gary Peterson's comedy shows. He just takes a huge shit on stage, and it's just fun for everyone.
It's performance art.
So Ichabod's butt looked fucked up today. Ichabod is my other toad. It's not supposed to be like this. He was crawling around weird. An intense scouring of the internet suggested it could be an impacted bowel, and that I should soak Ichabod in warm water for 10 minutes. Then I somehow successfully prodded the stuck turd out. You, Ichabod, hold still. I hate it too. So I'm basically at an emergency vet now. I've only had these toads for since like July of last year. So it's almost been a year. But yeah, I don't know anything really, but I feel pretty proud that I was able to squeeze a turd out of Ichabod.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
So we get takeout from a local restaurant once a week. The now all too familiar feeling of panic I get before entering an indoor public space. Right on cue. It's our attempt to support the businesses we love and would hate to lose. How much is a 30% tip, and why am I so bad at math? Just side note, I posted this and so many people like told me how to do the tip, and I was like, okay guys, I actually know it was just like, you know, kind of, but also, you know, like standing in line at a Thai place where there's other people like trying to be 6 feet away from you, but the store itself isn't even 6 feet wide. Anyway.
Also, very, very few comic strips are broadcast live.
It's a terrible strain on the cartoonist's wrist to slightly alter a Simpsons joke.
Yeah, exactly.
And our way of desperately trying to make another night at home feel special. This fried rice is probably worth dying for. And Dracula is thinking, ICANN has chicken? I have become increasingly panicked at the idea of talking to people. Hey, want to Zoom later? I don't have anything to say, good or bad, just extreme apathy. So how's the weather, I guess? And communication exacerbates the distance.
Thanks for doing our Zoom show. We really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I am so angry that I'm here right now.
Liz, you draw the way I want my ideal body to look.
Thank you. Me too. I wish your body looked like that. And then this one is a sneak peek. This is the last one I'm going to show on this broadcast, but it hasn't been posted to my Instagram yet. So
nice.
If any of the people who follow Liz Prince Comics on Instagram are wondering, whoa, I haven't seen this one, that's why. So it's just one of those days. Blah. I'm trying not to take naps. Hello, villagers, your God is here. It's not that great. Are you okay? Never better. I'm just trying to leave my corpse in an accessible spot for the cats to feed on.
That's
Great.
amazing. Liz, thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Robert.
Let me see if I can get this to
Are
work.
you texting? Are you sexting?
I'm sexting
you,
right now.
Are you
Do you-
cybering?
me, please? I want to see if I can share something with you. I am a bit of an artist myself. I was just wondering if you could take a look at a piece of art that I made and just let me know what you think of it. If you think it's any good.
This is your
It's,
penis.
I
I'm
mean-
going to be very upset.
Oh no, it's not. It's a this is a drawing I did of Gary. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I've got good?
I think, yeah, I would say you definitely are headed for the DC bullpen.
I did this for Gary for his birthday one year. I think it's pretty good.
But you drew a comic for me once.
I did, yeah. Yeah. Do you still have it?
I do, yeah.
Really? Oh, cool.
It's about your time working at a chain store, kind of local chain store, and all the fart machines that they sell there.
Yeah. Good fart machines.
Rob has a very specific resume set of skills. The store needs to have wireless fart machines in every aisle.
Oh man, when they came out with the wireless fart machine, because we like back when they had the wired fart machines, we were like, this is amazing. No way you can improve on this. Then they came out with the wireless fart machines.
Game changer.
I mean, it's called
like, wow,
progress, people, and you cannot stand the tide. Silicon Valley, stand aside. You didn't come up with a wireless fart machine.
If only. Don't you wish you could just go back to 1994 and invest in fart machines?
It's what I do, you know. If I had the DeLorean, I wouldn't go back and steal that or bring back that guide that tells me who's gonna win all the baseball games or whatever. I just invest in fart machines.
Yeah.
Then I can be Biff of the future.
Yeah, man.
Biff of the future.
I was such a fan of that movie. I always wanted to be like Marty McFly, but I realized I wasn't going to be able to travel time or learn how to play guitar. But I did start sleeping in my clothes. So, yeah.
And you were wearing a vest over like a plaid shirt with the collar popped and in bed.
And anyone that knows Rob knows that he always kissed his mother. Ladies and gentlemen, oh Jesus Christ!
What's up? I just want to tell one before we go.
Oh, of course.
Want to say that of all of Rob's many hats that he's worn, my favorite hat that he's worn is the colonial tri-corner hat that he wore when he used to run or lead those tours.
Yeah.
You know, on the Freedom Trail. And one day I was riding my bike downtown and I rode past a tour. And then I was like stopped at a light and Rob was like, oh, everyone wave hello to ye old Liz Prince.
I did not say ye old. I never would say ye old.
Are you sure you didn't say ye old?
No, I never would.
Okay. Well, then you broke character.
My character is very thin. That's
okay.
What I'm like as an actor. I'm great as long as the character is basically me.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I guess you do autobiographical comics. You've done some non-autobiographical comics and they've come out great.
Yeah, I drew Flo's huge dick.
Yeah. I mean, you were an innovator because before that, Flo is never depicted with a huge dick. You know?
I mean, you know she has it, but it's like an unspoken thing.
Yeah. You really put the progressive in progressive.
That's right, I did.
Liz, we can't thank you again for coming. You gonna hang in? You gonna watch some of the show?
You can't or you won't.
We can't, and I won't.
We would thank you again, but we don't have the time.
Yeah, I mean,
we would thank you again, but we just don't have the time to thank you again.
If we had any more time, we would thank you. But
we should thank you again, but we can't.
Yeah, it's just Liz, you get a show, and you've already used yours, and as much as I got to stick to a policy. We've got a lot of people.
Thank you again, but we can't.
Okay,
but we cannot. You gonna stick around?
Thank you.
I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna mute myself, but I'm gonna keep my video on so I can do reaction shots and get discovered.
There she is. She's going to be in a Maury audience as soon as people are allowed outside. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Prince, LizPrinceComics.com. So funny. So hilarious.
Follow me on Instagram. If my Instagram follower count doesn't jump by at least 2, I'm going to know.
You're going to call us out for the frauds we have.
I think you're halfway there. I think I just followed you. You're halfway there.
Thank you.
And Axl Rose is now following you and no one else. Robert, I want to make sure that you're safe. I know you're in a different part of town. There's been some reports that I just received on my device. There's been some robberies around the United States. People covered themselves in masks. Although this was not a traditional mask. It's different items that they've put on their heads. They've covered bandanas or sometimes even floral arrangements, blocking their faces, welding masks, and most recently, I guess we heard about the watermelon caper.
Yeah, that's so crazy. So this was where did this take place, Gary?
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Two boys with watermelons on their heads walked right into a store and robbed the place.
Yeah.
And they have not found the suspects yet.
Yeah. So if anyone has any information, you could send it to
Did
the.
somebody say watermelon?
Happened, but might as well. Oh no.
Did anybody say watermelon?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Rob, is this coming in on your end? Is this coming in on your end too?
I'm
Can
seeing
you
a
hear me
man-
okay?
We can hear you. The whole world hears you. Watermelon Head is your name?
Guess what?
What?
I'm hungry. Are you fellas hungry too?
Yeah. I mean, we're in the middle of a show, so I mean, we don't have a ton of time to eat, but we
Fruit
might.
flies, I don't care. What are you fellas up to? It's been quite a while.
We're just doing the show and
Uh-huh.
going through quarantine.
Yeah.
Watermelon Head.
Yeah, that's me.
Have you
I don't
heard?
even know how all this is working.
What are you eating, Watermelon Head?
It's watermelon.
That makes a lot of sense.
Of course, Rob.
There's little tiny seeds in there. And when I eat them, I just get stronger.
You eat.
All of these little seeds, they grow up to be little, tiny, future me's.
Oh no.
Watermelon Head. How do you answer for these crimes that are being committed among folks in stores dressed with watermelons on their heads? Are you part of this reign of terror?
Well, Gary, Ulysses S. Grant, that depends. What kind of crimes are going on?
I believe there have been some robberies of stores.
Oh,
Larceny, shoplifting.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are those stores maybe full of watermelons?
They may be.
You ever think of that?
Yeah, I guess that could be true. So are you saying that it's justified for a Watermelon Head to rob a watermelon store?
Well, it makes sense if you think about it.
I guess I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
Wait a second. They're stealing money. They're not just stealing watermelons.
Oh, money, you say.
Yeah.
Is it green?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It would be,
it's
yeah.
Oh.
Coins.
Well then, maybe they're going to use that money to finance an obstacle course. That's a good idea. You know, everybody has to grow up big and strong. Maybe.
Do you have an
You could
obstacle
have some
course?
watermelon too.
Why an obstacle course? Do you have one?
I have one. I grew up in an obstacle course.
Well, tell us more about that.
Oh, well, it's part vine, part rubber, because you got to go through those rubber tires, part monkey bar, and some spikes.
Spikes.
Don't fall on the spikes. You'll
No,
perish.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, it's dangerous.
So that's where you
But,
grew up.
Oh, it's not quite as dangerous as like a root knot nematode, or maybe like some powdery mildew.
Wait, is that the kind of toad that Liz Prince has?
Oh no,
Okay, good.
no, she has. I think Miss Liz has a regular traditional toad.
Okay.
I like them.
I'll unmute here to say they are all American toads.
Okay. They did look very patriotic.
They are. Yeah.
Yes, they were engaged in the most American tradition of having.
That's
an
right.
owl.
And 4th of
They're
July is
actually-
only 2 weeks away.
They're actually listening to Garth Brooks and cleaning their assault rifles right now. So.
Ah,
What? Watermelon
they sound
head.
like some good people to have at a barbecue.
Watermelon head. Why do you know so much about toads?
No, I was talking about the root knot nematode. It's my sworn enemy. What I was saying is, in the obstacle course, spikes aren't as dangerous as like a fungus or even some powdery mildew.
So, did you grow up around fungus and powdery mildew?
Oh, I would hope not. I wouldn't have grown at all. And maybe that's why those fellers are robbing banks and stores for money.
So you're not associated with these people that are harming folks and stealing
If
money.
they're watermelon, they're probably kin of mine. But I can't think of a logical reason why a watermelon would need money. We got everything we need right here.
So you grew up in an obstacle. All right,
Go take it.
Are you saying?
Ooh, that's good.
Would you go on the record condemning the action of
Jesus.
the watermelon thieves?
I'm sorry, what was that, Charles Manson?
Would you go on record condemning the actions of these watermelon thieves?
Oh, I don't like thieves. Watermelon, on the other hand.
Watermelon head. You've eaten a lot of yourself today.
That's right. I
And-
gotta catch these criminals.
You're gonna go after them yourself?
I already know where they are.
Where are they?
They're down south, silly.
It's
I
true.
think Karl Marx would know a little bit more. I know right where they are. I'm gonna find them as soon as we're done with this vine.
You're getting a whole vine of watermelons?
Oh,
No.
I thought that's...
He thinks this is the social media platform Vine.
Watermelon,
all
I have
vine.
bad news for you.
I have a resting pH of 6.
That's a resting pH. What about when you're active?
Oh, it goes down to 5.5.
Oh, wow.
People don't know about this, but the more excited watermelons get, the calmer they get too.
I didn't know that.
Maybe that's why they're out there robbing banks.
Too calm.
That's right. I got a little watermelon in my lap.
Oh, can we see it?
I don't think so. I don't think that's
That
a good
was-
idea.
The right answer.
Oh my goodness.
Guess what?
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 More watermelon.
Watermelon head. I applaud that
Ooh,
you're
it's
gonna
good.
you're gonna go after
real
these
good.
guys.
Yeah,
What was that?
How are you gonna capture these guys and bring them to justice and clear your good name? I think the people do want to know that there are good watermelon heads out there.
There's only one answer to that, Gary. I'm going to use my melon.
You have to
I already-
admit, you set him up for that one.
I think I did.
They're already done for. They just don't know it yet.
So what do you plan to do when you apprehend the suspects?
Take a guess.
I know.
Take a
Gonna
good
call
long guess,
Gipper.
Lord Kelvin.
Wait, Liz, what was your guess of what Watermelon will do?
He's gonna call Gallagher.
Oh no. Watermelon Head, are you okay?
There's only one cure for this cough.
More watermelon. Yeah,
Right.
Watermelon Head. How do you feel about
More watermelon.
How do you feel about the comedian Gallagher? Do you have a take?
I'm still looking for him.
Watermelon Head, I want you to know that I've renamed Rob Karl Marx / Charles Manson for the remainder of the show.
Oh, that's great. I think he looks also just like Brigham Young.
Like if nobody believed in him.
Hey.
Watermelon Head, thank you for helping and stopping by and clearing up your good name.
Thanks for having me on. It makes me go all squishy.
Is that good or bad? That sounds bad.
Sounds really bad.
It's a good thing.
All right, good.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my night.
Eat more watermelon?
Maybe go to an obstacle course.
Oh, I'm already there.
Ladies
I'm
and
going over the
gentlemen,
tires as we speak.
ladies and gentlemen, keep it going for Watermelon Head.
You just got a picture in your hand.
Watermelon Head, we'd love for you to stick around for our last guest if you would love
I ain't going nowhere.
Oh, perfect. We would love to have you
I'll
stay.
be right here.
This is going swimmingly. Everything's according to plan. And this show, whatever it is this a movie? Rob, what is this? It's a documentary.
It's a Vine, I believe.
It's a Vine, and
I knew a muskrat once.
Well, let's welcome our final guest for the evening. Our final guest is a fantastic comedian who I've known for a long time. We both teach at Improv Boston. If you want to take some virtual classes there, they're going to be going on sale soon, I believe.
Rob teaches body dysmorphia, a one-on-one experience, and this comedian teaches actually how to write jokes from starting from zero and being a funny stand-up comedian, which she is absolutely is. Please welcome to the stage our good friend Kathe Farris, ladies and gentlemen. Kathe Farris.
Wow. I have to say this weekend, coming after Watermelon Head, last night I came after a country music duet talking about decapitated snakes and its sexual nature. So this pandemic is doing great for my comedy.
Would you say you're 2 for 2?
Yeah. I'm redesigning my whole website tomorrow.
An open apology from Kathe Farris.
I'm excited to be here tonight, though, because this is an opportunity that I've been waiting for 3 years, as Gary, because you were there for this incident, and I'm glad we're talking about it.
Yes, I'm very excited to talk about this incident. So this is an incident that happened 3 years ago at a local bar in Boston, that hosts a great comedy show every Saturday night. And the show is great. The bar is one of the worst in Boston.
And that is saying a lot. This bar has a number of things that make it super stinky.
To give you an idea what this bar is like, I once took a picture of the men's room of this bathroom, where there was a urinal which had been smashed and had been had just not so you could use it, but just so that it wouldn't fall off the wall. It had been taped together with Boston Red Sox printed packing tape. And I was like, this is what Boston is like. This sums it up better than anything I've ever seen. And that was like that at that bar for about 3 years.
I too was going to start with the men's urinal. And then I was going to go into the fact that, I realized that this is right down the street from BU. So as a comedian who is older, say mature. It's a very
MILF-like.
different audience for me, and it took some time to break them. And they had free popcorn, so I'm like, I'm there until this happened.
And I was present for this event, right? I think we were all doing a little show.
You were very unhelpful, actually. But I think the best way to get into this is like, why don't you tell the story? Rob, I don't know if you know the story. So why don't you guys tell the story, and then I will do the follow-up.
Okay. I believe the comedy show is happening in one room. We're all on the show, me and Kathe. I think our friend Laura Severse is there as witness. We did our sets, and we're all just hanging out. And that's I think we're up to speed. Now, can you fill in a little bit of the backdrop of what's going on?
Okay, well, first off, it was a good crowd. I killed. Gary did okay. And then we're at the bar, and Laura's like, I'm gonna get this round, which is abnormal for Laura. So I was really excited about that.
And this was the 10th or 11th round, right?
Okay, Gary. That's a different show. I order my usual Chardonnay, and they say we have red or white, and so I took. And Laura was like, I don't know. Laura's not a drinker, and she's like, I don't know. I'm kind of move something fruity, and she was kind of flirtatious with the bartender, and he was flirtatious back, and he's like, I'm gonna make you something special. And so he went off and made her something special, and brought back my white wine, where like it stung, but I muscled through it, and it got through it. And then Laura got her drink. Then he gave me my drink, and he said, if you don't like the way I bartend, you can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I just looked around at, Gary's there, Laura's there.
I didn't hear this
there.
part. For the record,
Okay.
I wasn't.
Real quick, just a quick clarification. Ellen Sugarman said that this was the marathon show, so it was packed with comics this night.
Oh, okay, Ellen's there. All right, yeah, Ellen was there, yes. So it was packed with comics. So he says this, I step back, and Laura takes her receipt and crumbles it up and says, well, I guess he's not getting a tip. And then we walk away, and we proceed to tell people what had happened. And instead of nobody coming to my aid, Gary decides to think, what would be funny? He's like, well, actually it was me. Here's my blonde wig. Unwarranted. You said, all of you were like, maybe you should just leave. And that's what I remember from this. Now, I went home. I have two kids that, what? Say it, Gary.
I want to chime into my defense, I guess. I was told the story from you after it had just happened, right? And yeah. I was like, and we were all laughing. Laura Severse was laughing with tears.
Okay, have you ever seen like Dateline after a murder, and people are like, I'm in a daze, I don't know what I was saying? That's where I was at. Like, I wasn't telling a story. I wasn't like, remember in 1989 when they used to have candy canes on every tree? It wasn't like that.
It was, call it a bad read on my part. I didn't read the field properly. And to be honest, I think Laura Severse is the reason why I thought it was so funny, because she is hysterical. Like, she is doubling over, she's crying, laughing, she's pointing at you, and you just have this look on your face. And now that you say that you were in a daze, of shock, like when a shark takes your leg, you were just stunned.
This is my adrenaline. I come off stage, I'm like, oh my God, I killed it. Maybe I should move to New York. Like, this is what's going through my head. Maybe I should move to New York because I killed it at the dugout, right? I'm getting my drink, get kicked out. And now I'm at this place of like, what's happening to me? And there's no support. Go ahead. So then what do? Do you remember what you did?
I'm sure I did the wrong thing. Can you tell me?
Well, I remember you had this leather or pleather jacket on. I don't remember. And you were like, maybe he was thinking about me and my blonde wig. And you like pretend to do a wig, and everyone's like, oh my God, Gary. And so the focus goes on you and back on Laura, then back on you, then back on Laura. And I'm here thinking, this is crazy. This is just a crazy thing. But let's get to the real part of the story. So I go home, and the next day I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a cool thing that happened. When you have kids that are like in their 20s and they think that you don't do interesting things. So I told them like, hey, got kicked out of that bar last night. And like, no.
Were your kids like,
No, you
did they confuse you with Gary Peterson?
They didn't believe me. But then I don't know, a couple of days later, Gary, I think, texted Ellen to say, there's a Yelp review and I'm pretty sure it's about Kathe. And I would like to read it if that's okay with you.
I would love for you to read it.
I'm excited to hear this all the way through.
I just want to point out, when you're doing a Yelp review, the first line is super important to capture people, to get their attention. Women, avoid aggressive male staff. Very rude.
That's great.
When I arrived, my date, a warm and friendly guy, asked the bartender where to find the comedy show. The bartender said, we don't have nothing to do with that, and ignored us. We discovered the door to the back room, maybe 20 feet away. The dugout's all-male staff are hostile to women. At the intermission, I saw the same bartender snap at a small, meek, middle-aged woman over her glass with white wine.
Meek is the best part.
Oh no, it gets better. If you don't like my bartending, you can either deal with it or get the fuck out of here. He was shocked and speechless. He literally swore in the face of a short, quiet, older woman who, as it turned out, was one of the comedians working there, bringing in customers that evening. That same bartender, the short guy, also charged someone else's large drink order to my card. I was still squinting at the numbers on the receipt when he apparently realized his mistake, took my card and my receipt out of my hand, and walked away to charge my card again. This was confusing. When he reappeared, I asked for a receipt. I handed him a copy of the sales slip. I clarified I needed to void a receipt or the overcharge. He ignored me. The other guy behind the bar, the tall guy, refused to help me. The bartender did ultimately produce a void receipt, which has been torn in half. I wasn't feeling it anymore, so we left our drinks, already paid for, on the bar and walked towards the comedy room. A man reached out from the shadows and tried to put a large hand on my arm. I couldn't see who it was. I shrank back.
No.
The man in the shadows was a tall guy from behind the bar. He opened by defending himself. I'm not yelling at you. I'm being very polite. I had no idea what he wanted. So we gave up and left. The only words I had said to these gentlemen were, I need a receipt. I meant a void receipt. Would you please help me? These were my exact words. The only reason I had to say these words at all was the bartender had overcharged me. I can understand having an off night, but this really does not excuse yelling at me or a comedian who is working there. Two women who were each polite and reasonable. Here's my problem with this whole thing. One, grammatically, it's awful. It's awful. And I was concerned for her because I think she went to BU, and I'm hoping she's not an English major. I'm thinking gender studies with a minor in physical ed. But the thing is, she took a lot of time. I dissected it. She took a lot of time to describe me. Small, meek, middle-aged. Thank you, because I'm upper middle-aged.
How tall are you? You're pretty tall, right?
I think so. I'm like Sears model height. I'm like 5'7.5". So thank you,
That's
Rob.
so tall.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
like
so. I'm an average height. I'm not short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think
Same here.
the only thing she says about the guys are the short guy and the tall guy. And the only one who gets like something glowing is her date, a warm and friendly guy.
Hey, that means he got laid. I
Oh, okay.
I have an idea to clear this whole thing up, if that's okay with you, Kathe, because I feel awful now. I feel just terrible.
He doesn't look it. What?
I mean it.
Okay.
I know a lot of people think I'm sarcastic when I say I love you, but I do. And I think the only way for us to put this in the past is to reenact it, where Rob is the bartender, you're Kathe, and I will be me. We'll take it from you at the bar ordering and go from there.
Is this like Ianya Saved My Life? Like, what is that? Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to be the Yelp reviewer.
Oh, great.
Good.
All right, here we
I'm
go.
noticing how tall everyone is.
All right. Hey, lady, here's your receipt. It's totally wrong. Hey, you, if you don't like my bartending, you can get the fuck out of here, you meek old middle-aged lady.
Excuse me. I couldn't help overhear how you talked to my friend Kathe Farris, near winner of the Boston Comedy Festival, who teaches now at Improv Boston a level of stand-up that anyone can understand. Could I just ask you one quick thing, sir?
Whatever.
Have you no shame? Have you no shame? This middle-aged, tall, meek, frail woman came here for a glass of Chardonnay, and all you gave her was grief and some generic Pinot Grigio that you distilled in the toilet in the back.
That is right on, Gary.
If I had less self-control, I would have beat you senseless, sir. The way you talk to women and your aggressive male staff behavior.
You know what, Gary Peterson? Yeah, I know who you are. You're right. Maybe it's the way I was raised. Maybe it's the stress of the world at large. Maybe it's the tremendous amount of cocaine that I snort every single night. But you've taught me this is not the way to live. I'm going to make a change, and it's all because of you, Gary Peterson.
Coming up so slashed and torn. Ah, ah, ah. We give love one more chance. Why can't we
give love one
more
chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give
Give
love,
love.
give love, give love? Love's such an old fashioned. Give love, give love, give love.
dares you.
People on the streets. People on the streets. Them knowing what the world's about. Watching some good friends singing. Let me out.
But tomorrow, get high, high. There it is.
Why didn't we go with the Celine Dion song? It took me way too long to figure out what you were singing.
Well,
Yeah,
I like a
we
duet.
get that a lot when we sing.
I will say though, this was therapeutic, but what would have really, really helped me is if we did a reenactment of confronting the Yelp reviewer.
Okay.
Because as much as the bartender was at fault for telling me to get out, that was more the drugs and the upbringing.
Liz, do you want to
Yelp
reprise
reviewer.
your role here?
Yelp reviewer was sober. Remember, she didn't take her drink. She left her drink. And then she went
didn't even
home,
finish her drink.
thought about it.
Yeah.
And
right.
I would like to
Now-
come
yeah.
to this Yelp reviewer's just defense and say I probably pre-gamed quite a bit. Don't take my sobriety as a given.
Yeah, well, Kathe, confront this Yelp reviewer.
okay. Well, okay, give me a second. Let me just get back. I need to get back to that place because I'm a different person now.
Mhm.
I'm actually a much better comic and I was so good then, but now I'm just like, so let me just back.
Yeah, some comics do that thing where they get better as they go along. Whatever.
What I'm more concerned with is that, I think it's good that you alert the public of what's happening, but what I'm so concerned of is that you're in college and you can't craft a grammatically correct review. This is what I'm the most concerned with, because you were so obsessed with describing me incorrectly. And if we look at the 6 adjectives that you used, all 3 were already given in the first one. You didn't need to give them again in the second one. So I felt like it was like a dig. I honestly think that maybe your therapy really needs to focus on your mom issues, because I think you saw a lot about me, like your mom and me, and you took it out on the Yelp review. Now, this was kind of a highlight for me. This is the coolest thing that's happened to me in comedy ever, other than losing the Boston Comedy Festival.
Festival runner-up.
Like there are more distinctive features about me. Like I have nice hair. I have a big nose. I look like Owen Wilson. I talk like a bird. You know what I mean? I look like every other mother. Like there's lots of things you could have said about me, but you went with words that didn't even describe me. No one has ever called me small or meek. It's more like a snob or a bitch, right? With good skincare regime. So this is where we go.
You know what? I'm
That's
hearing
it.
you.
That actually felt better. It did feel good.
I'm hearing you. I do feel like okay, I go to Tufts. So I have even less of an excuse. And you're right. I should have mentioned that you definitely have a really good moisturizing routine. I can tell that. Your pores are very small. You've got a very even skin tone. When I go on Yelp, I try to paint the most accurate portrait of a situation that I can from my memories while being shit-faced drunk. So I'm sorry.
You weren't even drunk. I saw you. You were stone cold sober, and that guy was not enjoying himself on the date. And I'm sorry to say that. And I don't want to be.
We're married now.
Well, good luck with that. I mean, yeah, we all marry that guy, right?
And it looks like
and I'll have you know, he is still warm.
And what does the bartender have to say?
Hey, you two broads better keep it down or get the fuck out of here. Can't you see Gary Peterson's helping me turn my life around?
And that man behind the bar is Barack Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show. What a time. Kathe, any final parting words, things you want to mention or see happen?
No, but I do like the fact that almost on every other show, the way I'm introduced is, and the loser of the Boston Comedy Festival. Let's be Farris. He tried a lot, but forget it.
Hey, you're in good company with me. I was exiled from it. A round of applause for all of our guests today. Kathe Farris, Liz Prince, Watermelon Head, Chris Walsh was here, Nicole Buchanan, my co-host Creany, what a hero, and I'm the Gipper, and you can see Rob on his mics and shows. You have the Tuesday mic, yeah?
Yep, you can find out all about it at the Anderson Comedy Facebook page, yeah.
And then the Gas on Friday, Digital Gas. 7:30 Eastern, and if you can Venmo anything to help us keep the lights on and pay the performers for their hard work today, at Gipper 2020 on Venmo, at Gipper 2020. Suggested donation $5, but these are hard times. Whatever you can send, and that way we keep the lights on for all these folks. Thank you again for tuning in, and that's it, everybody. Good job.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, thanks.